Hi children, good morning. Welcome. Welcome to today's social science class. Today I'm going to start a new lesson that is from your history, fourth chapter, the Mughal Empire. Ruling as a large territory as the Indian subcontinent with such a diversity of people and cultures was an extremely difficult task for any ruler to accomplish in the Middle Ages. Quite in contrast to their predecessors, the Mughals created an empire and accomplished what had hitherto seemed possible for only short periods of time. From the later half of the 16th century, they expanded their kingdoms from Agra and Delhi until in the 17th century they controlled nearly all of the subcontinent. They imposed structures of administration and ideas of governance that outlasted their rule, leaving a political legacy that succeeding rulers of the subcontinent could not ignore. Today, the Prime Minister of India addressed the nation of Independence Day from the ramparts of the Red Fort in Delhi, the residence of the Mughal emperors. Who were the Mughals? The Mughals were descendants of two great lineages of rulers. From their mother's side, they were descendants of Genghis Khan, the Mongol ruler who ruled over parts of China and Central Asia. From their father's side, they were the successors of Timur, the ruler of Iran, Iraq, and modern day Turkey. However, the Mughals did not like to be called Mughal or Mongol. This was because Genghis Khan's memory was associated with the massacre of innumerable people. It was also linked with the Uzbeks, their Mongol competitors. On the other hand, the Mughals were proud to their Timur ancestry, not least of all because their great ancestors had captured Delhi in 1398. Mughal military campaigns. Babur, the first Mughal emperor, succeeded to the throne of Fergana in 1494 when he was only 12 years old. He was forced to leave his ancestral throne due to the invention of another Mongol group. The Uzbeks, after years of wandering, seized Kabul in 1504. In 1526, he defeated the Sultan of Delhi, Ibrahim Lodi, at Panipat and captured Delhi and Agra. Babur was the first Mughal emperor. He was born in a small place called Fargana in Central Asia. It was the tender age of 12 years that he became the ruler of Fargana in 1491. Babur tried to conquer Samarkand but failed. In 1504, he conquered Kabul. When Babur was ruling Fargana in Central Asia, at the same time the Lodhis were ruling over the Delhi Sultanate. The local rulers were not happy with the Lodhis. As a result, they sent a message to Babur to come to India and defeat the Lodhis. More than the invitation, it was the wealth and richness of Hindustan that Babur to plan an expedition to India. The First Battle of Panipat. In 1526, the Babur faced Ibrahim Lodi in the First Battle of Panipat. The Lodi army was huge when compared to the Baburs, but Babur had a good cavalry. Without much difficulty, Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi. He successfully conquered Delhi and Agra. The military campaigns of Babur. 1526, he defeated Ibrahim Lodi and his Afghan supporters at Panipat. 1527, he defeated Rana Sang, Rajput rulers. 1528, he defeated the Rajputs at Chanderi, established control over Agra and Delhi before his death. Humayun, the eldest son of Babur, Nasruddin Muhammad Humayun, succeeded him in 1530. Humayun divided his inheritance according to the will of his father. His brothers were each given a province. The ambitions of his brother Mirza Kamran weakened Humayun's cause against Afghan competitors. Sher Shah Khan defeated Humayun at Chausa and Kanauj, forcing him to flee to Iran. In Iran, Humayun received help from the Safavid Shah, He recaptured Delhi in 1555 but died in an accident. Akbar. Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar was born in Amarkot at the time when his father Humayun was in exile. With the Humayun's sudden death in 1556, Akbar was made king when he was just 13. He was the greatest ruler of the Mughal dynasty. He brought glory to the Mughal Empire and is therefore known as Akbar the Great. Bayram Khan became the regent or guardian of young Akbar. His region can be divided into three periods. First phase 1556 to 1570. Akbar became independent of the regent Bayram Khan and other members of his domestic staff. Military campaigns were launched against the Suris and other Afghans, against the neighboring kingdoms of Malwa and Gondwana, and to suppress the revolt of his half brother Mirza Hakim and the Uzbeks. In 1568, the Sisodia capital of Chittor was seized, and in 1569, Ranthambore. Second phase 1570 to 1585. Military campaigns in Gujarat were followed by campaigns in the east in Bihar, Bengal, and Orissa. These campaigns were completed by the 1570 to 1580 revolt in support of Mirza Hakim. Third phase 1585 to 1605 expansion of Akbar's empire. Campaigns were launched in the north west. Kandahar was seized from the Safavids. Kashmir was annexed as also Kabul. After the death of Mirza Hakim, campaigns in the Deccan started and where Khandesh and parts of Ahmednagar were annexed. In the last years of his reign, Akbar was distracted by the rebellion of Prince Salim, the future emperor of Jahangir. Children, I'm going to wind up this video, and about Jahangir and about the Shah Jahan and about the Aurangzeb I will explain in next video. So thank you to listening in my class.